Choose you this day whom you will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. It's Joshua Demers Productions with Budgie Buddies J&K presenting RV Camper Potable Water Tank Parts, Pump, and Plumbing Prices Installation Adventure. This was the opposite of fun, and man oh man, am I sure glad it is done. Alright, I'm getting ready to put my fresh water tank in, and I come in to here under my bed, and I noticed I forgot I had a box right there. Had a couple bags of rice, some nuts, and a couple of foil pouches of stew in it. They got into it and they've been digging. You can see the remnants of it on the floor right there. And yeah, you can see the remnants of it. And I've been hearing them up under, it sounds like they're right up under my head, under my bed. And I believe I'm right. Look at that. And what it is, I've been using the space in the box, whatever you call that thing, the box spring mattress, to run up along inside of here and get to the food over here. It's no wonder they're leaving the traps alone for the most part. They got plenty of food right here and a variety of it. Well, as you can see, not anymore. And I'm going to take a vacuum cleaner, clean all the poop up, and be done with it. So anyway, this is step one. Figured I'd show you before and afters. Anyway, the idea is set the tank in here sideways, pumping everything, and run a line up under to the main water hookup, and then I'm done. To complement all them boxes I gotta go toss out of here. And let's see. Oh, and just if you want to see it, there's the inside of that box. I told you they got up in there and really left me two out of three of the beef stews, one out of the 2 rice. Actually, they got my white rice is what they did, and 2 out of 3 walnuts. So yeah, I won't do that again. I've been putting everything in a plastic bin right there, and like I said, I just totally forgot that I had that sitting way there in the middle of everything. Anyway, so my goal is, now that my hot water heater's hooked up and working, I gotta cut the line and connect it up inside the hose, up inside the stove where it's got a splitter. And I think what I'm gonna do actually is mount the microwave right on top of the hot water heater, build me a little shelf out of some of them panels right there. And then on top of that, I'll mount the stove back there, put a couple of legs going down to support the front of it, and mount it right a little bit over the microwave oven, set a little ways off the wall so the burner's not right up against the wall, closer to the window. And with the way that's shaped out, it'll keep the burner away from the wall, sitting lengthwise. Yeah, it'll give me a nice little area right there. Maybe I'll build me a little shelf there for a little countertop while I'm cooking. Yeah, I think I got that working out good. But look at the mess I've made working with my water system. However, all that's about to head out in the trash. And that's going to get resorted and probably down to 1 box. So basically, I just got a pile right there, and some stuff I've been stacking up over here. But I think when I get done, I'll be able to actually walk around my bed, unlike before where, again, all this stuff was just stacked up. And this is all boxes from stuff I've ordered from eBay and bought from Walmart, and just kind of waiting to make sure, the 30 days, make sure they're still good so I don't need to return them or anything under warranty. All right, let's get back in here and get to cleaning. And check it out. 120 spotlight. Makes a difference. This is what it looks like with the 12 volt lighting. This is what I'd have to work on with. But thanks, because I got 120 volts, click, much better to work with and shoot video. I'm going to try to set up the tripod and catch some of this on video. And he's only 15 watts. Look how much light that puts out, 15 watts. I mentioned that in an earlier video when I was living over a couple miles away. Sweet. And we get rid of them boxes over there too. Yeah, like I said, my goal is to be able to walk around the bed when I'm done with this. Here's my little kit to install. That's the big fresh water tube, that's the vent tube and the drain line. That's the line to go to the pump. That's the exterior water hookup. And I got the pump sitting in a box here somewhere. I don't know what to do with it, but it's here somewhere. Anyway, and a whole little bag of hardware with a little water tank drain, clamps, connectors, couplers. I think this thing's missing one though. It's, from what I understand, it was supposed to have 2 big ones and 2 small ones. And looking through here real carefully, I only see 1 big one. Yeah, I only see a total of 3 of those. I don't see 4. Uh-oh. Or maybe I only need 3. I can't remember. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. I'm missing the big one to connect this to the tank. I guess they assume that my tank's going to have one already sticking out. Dang, that stinks. I'm going to have to go to the hardware store to solve that. But yeah, I was right. There's supposed to be 4. There's supposed to be a small one for the drain, small one for the pump out, small one for the vent, and then a big one for the fill. And I'm missing the fill inlet, so I got to get that. I also got to figure out what I'm going to need to do to connect the pump to the line, and then the line to the main line. And I think these might actually thread right into the thing. I think these, yeah, I may be able to Teflon those and get those done. So I may be just stuck with this and getting the pump hooked up today before I get to the store. I need a 1 7/8 inch threaded male adapter, a way to angle it and reduce it to 1 1/4 for the fill hose. I need to shorten the hose going to the pump and step the PVC down to the floor, put a spigot out it, and put a brass nipple on the other end in the closet and connect it into the RV plumbing. But the brass nipple I got is too small, so I won't be able to do that today. Alright, I got a slight update. I've got some things figured out. Okay, I was wondering why there's no holes in here for the vent line and major run and everything, and no wires for the pump and everything, and I figured out what's going on. This box right here has a flap on the outside, and right now it's storage, but what happened is that I believe that had almost an identical tank inside of there that was accessed from the outside, and the pump and everything was over here in the corner, because there's a fresh water and a city water connection on the very back of it right there. And I bet that's what it is. I bet, and when I took this apart, there's an actual framing 2x4 like you'd use for a house right along here, and you can see that, you know, some more house construction material right there. So I think what they did was, before I bought this thing, when they were redoing the bottom of these closets out, they took this out, took the tank out, and then just put this back together without a tank in there. And now that I'm adding a tank, I already set it up over here, or setting it up over here, but I think technically I'm supposed to put that tank in that box right there. But I'll be honest with you, I think I'd rather have that box out there for storage and have the tank inside here. At least for now anyway. I can always move it later. And so anyway, what I'm doing is I got a non-pressurized line going to the filter, going to the pump, and then I'm going to just get a 1/2 inch washing machine style hose with a female to female, or maybe female to male, but anyway, female connector on there hose. I'm just going to cut that off and put a little male or female connector, whatever ends on the hose, and then that's going to go out to the T. That T's going outside the wall. It's going to have a water spigot on there. Now I'll explain that in just a minute. Okay, then I got the line coming out and going up into the closet where the actual redone city water. Remember I told you there's a city water connection over there, but they moved the city water connection over here when they took the tank out. And that's another reason why, like I said, I'm just not all into moving all this stuff around right now, out, you know, to the outside box. Partially because I just don't want to tear that down. I gotta end up redoing this whole floor in this corner, and when I do that, maybe I'll move the tank out there. Then again, water stays a little more comfortable in here. With tank in here, it's easier to access and work on. I may not miss the storage room inside versus out there, because this is hard to get to right here anyway. Anyway, back over to here, you see I got the water line running over here, back in the main. I'm going to disconnect that city water line because I'd have to get one of those T's for the RV, the old gray RV lines. They don't make T's for them. I'm pretty much out of T's and everything. Unless I think I got 2 more left on the little clean, over by where the sink and the hot water heater were originally. There's these little T's and these little things that shot down through the floor and towards the ground, and you open them up and it drain out the water system and keep the pressure out if it freezes, I guess. Well, I'm going to solve all of these things, okay? It comes with this drain that's actually supposed to go like here, and this is actually supposed to connect over there or something, or, you know, I guess this could technically be on a T, you know what I'm saying, right here, and go through the floor. I imagine it, you know, went out that through the floor. So, but instead of all that, instead of having 2 of those in there, because I like everything up against the wall, and the problem is the lines in the kitchen living room ran like across the floor like this, because there was counters and couches and everything built up over it, so it didn't matter if it hung out from the wall. Well, I want everything against the wall, so those holes in the floors and those little T's and clean, water relief valves right in the middle of, you know, this far in from the floor. No. So anyway, that T goes out. Technically, the same thing. You unhook the hose, turn on the water spigot. You know, you turn the pump off, of course. Turn on the water spigot, and it'll drain these lines out. That'll be the lowest point. To do the tank drain, I've got this figured out too. I'm going to have the hose there, and this thing right here. You take this little adapter, and you unscrew that. You know, it might run a little water out right away, but you screw that on, screw it onto that hose on the other pump, and just bypass the pump and drain the water tank. Or if the pump is still working, just turn the pump on and drain the tank. So that right there will be my pressure system drain if I need it, and my water tank drain. Even with the pump running, I got to bypass. The other thing this will do, city water connection. When I'm not using it as an output, I just got to get a female to female, screw it on the spigot, and then I just screw the city water in, turn city water on, and then it back pressurizes into here. Now I got pressurized system off of that one valve, and there's one more, and because it'll never backfeed into the pump, it'll just keep the pressure switch on the pump and keep the pump running. Last thing this thing will also do, when I'm not connected to city water and the pump is functioning, I'll have a little water spigot outside to hook a hose up to, or fill buckets up and stuff with, that runs off of this. How about that? I'll have system drain, tank drain, spigot, off-grid spigot, and a city water input. I get a hose splitter, then I have my city water in, and I can have an outlet to run the hose to do whatever work I want to do, washing or whatever, or have it come around and fill up the tank. How about that? I hook up city water with a splitter, have the hose going, just hanging there, fill up the tank, shut that valve back off, run the city water till I'm done with it, and go wrap the hose back up. Then I got 46 gallons of water until I get near running out, or I want to do my laundry. Hook the city water hose back up, and boom. That sounds like it's going to be so easy and convenient. I'm going to have, like I said, outside spigot, big time. My own outside spigot that works off grid or on grid, and it backs up as a backup as a drain. Tell me that's not some genius. Okay, problems I'm having though with all this going on now. This is a foot too short. This is a 2-inch female threaded connector. This I think is about 1.25 inches inside diameter. Okay, since this is about a foot short, it's gonna cut. I mean, it only sticks out about this far in here, and I need another foot to go to the wall to hook up to the back of this. I guess technically I could just leave this floating inside the box and run the hose inside the box, but I don't want that. I want that bolted on the outside. So I'm going to go to when I go to the hardware store, I'm going to try to figure out if buying a piece of this hose an extra foot long is cheaper than buying some kind of coupler and a couple of hose clamps, because I'm just not a big fan of hose clamping this. This just doesn't look all that great. Anyway, so I got to find a way to get something to fit in there and be watertight and sync up to this and add me an extra foot, and then I'll have that solved. I just get another little 1/2-inch male adapter like this with a nipple on it, and cut that, and boom, I got my vent line done. Like I said, I get a little hose screw onto there, cut that off, put a little screw hose on there, boom. I cut that off, put a little threaded connector with a nipple on it, put the RV hose on there with a clamp on it, and put a spigot on the outside. Of course, glue it all together, and that's it. Then of course I got the sensors going in. I got to get a drill bit for that. My biggest drill bit, still too small for the sensors, but I put the sensors in, got the wiring for it, and got the panel, and I think I'm going to go ahead and put the panel right over here, and which means I need to run, I think, 4 wires, a positive and a negative for the pump, and a positive and a negative for the sensor array. Alrighty, I'm gonna probably call that a day, because it doesn't look like I'm gonna get to the store, and as you can see, I gotta just restack everything back up so I can go to bed tonight. All right, good deal. I got my water line hooked up, just filled my tank up, and it doesn't look like we got any leaks anywhere. Any of my sensors, nowhere. Dry, and I glued that. I left that loose and that loose, so this come apart. It looks like I might have a little drip right there. I keep tightening that up, but I don't want to bust it. Ooh. All right. Yeah, buddy. And the problem I'm having is this pipe goes downhill a little bit and then goes back uphill. I need to just move that thing up to here if I have enough room or something. I haven't figured that out yet, but it still works. Anyway, this is the real trick. This is hooked up now as a drain, but when I turn the pump on, it'll be pressurized as well. And because I don't have the bib to connect it up in the closet, I'm gonna take a hose and hook from here to here to give myself service off the tank for now. All right, I don't know if it's official protocol, but after filling the tank all the way up, I went ahead and hooked that adapter up in place of the pump, opened the spigot outside, and I'm draining, but I tell you what, it sure is taking a long time to drain. But as soon as it's finished up, I forgot one. I got all my glue joints done. Like I said, I can't tap into the insides yet, so I just got me a shut off right there until I can mend into the other. But I forgot I got that little joint right there. I got to glue that before I put it under pressure. But as soon as this thing drains and I glue that, toss the pump in there. I got me a little wire run for now. Got it run up to the fuse box and yep. Got myself, don't have none of the sensors hooked up right now, but not bad. Wow, this tank appears to fill up reasonably fast, 45 gallons, and it looks like it's almost half full. And it's dripping a little bit out the back, and I think it's doing that because of this constriction over here. I'm thinking I might just take and run straight up 1.5 inch piping all the way over to there and make a bigger connection later on, but this works for now. Anyway, got the pump hooked up now. Hit the switch, see what happens. Oh, I hear the water in the line shaking, and it builds up pressure and it stops just like it's supposed to. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So that means, oops, we head outside and we ought to be, so that's what I'm saying, it's pouring that much out, but it's filling up as quick as it is. It should have pressurized water right here from the pump. That's RV pressure water right there. How about that? I might want to turn the pressure up just a little bit, but hey. And I heard it go pump, 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 fill up. Now I get a short hose hook up to here, and as long as I ain't got that drip under my sink, I'm 100% on self-contained water, just not 100% on the installation. All right, this ought to be filling up any moment now. It'll be pretty easy to tell. And this is what I was saying, see how it runs uphill just a little bit, but there's that beam right there that I'm just gonna have to, I guess, move out of the way. And that's house framing too, they added that. I might have to move, anyway, I'm gonna have to move that up to make it level. But I don't think that uphill climb is causing as much problem as that constriction. Anyway, how about that? A lot of notes, like I said, we gotta be able to tell it's full here in a moment when it starts just completely going bonkers. Now, I need one more hose like this to go from here to there, because I think I'm short just this much hose to hook up from here to here or to here. Because what I'm going to do is hook up to there when I'm on the washing machine for now, and then when I'm done and I'm ready to go in the tank, I'll fill up and then hook up this white hose here to there and then disconnect it, and you know. But eventually I'm going to have city water connection there. This is just going to be unused. Oh, and I'll fill up here, and I have a little T so I can do it all with one connection. There it goes. Now we know it's full because it's coming out in all different directions. That's the other downside. I gotta go all the way up there, shut the water off for a moment to disconnect this white hose so I can use it. There it is right there. To try out my 12-volt system. Oh well, it is what it is. Okay, so that's pretty awesome. Anyway, coming up into here, what I had done temporarily, you might even see in another video or earlier part of this video if I just put them all together, is I set this up in there so I'd have a way to stop it and then run it back up in the closet later, and I have it switched here that I could leave if I want or not. Anyway, so it's going up in that upper hole right there, and then it's coming down, coming out into here. So I just added parts on basically, and I took a piece of that plastic or that hard, whatever you call it, the semi-hard line, and come off of that and try to put it into a T. And you know, you go to the hardware store and it's in here somewhere. Like I said, you forgive me, this has been a real big mess over a couple of days. Okay, yeah, this. Well, you wouldn't believe it. This is just ever so slightly
too small. You can see I tried to fill it in with some Teflon, but just a little too small to comfortably fit in there, right? And so I have to put unbelievably amount of stress on a hose clamp, and these smaller hose clamps, wherever it went, the smaller hose clamps just aren't doing it. So I got bigger ones, but they're just a little too stiff right here around the edges, and so they don't close quite properly. So no matter what I was doing, they leak. So I knew that coming into this. So what I did was, like I said, I just left a little the shut off there and didn't even mess with none of that. This line here was connected to the city water hookup when I got here. It's actually a barbed connection on there. I don't know why I couldn't find a T like that size and that with that configuration, because that is flawless. Look, I've got a tiny little thing, reused the tiny little hose clamps they did, and not a problem with that. I have unbelievably amounts of problems without the good connectors like that. I don't know what happened to them. They don't exist anymore. I don't know. Anyway, so I took the brass T over here and put it in, and put in that solid line over to there where it was coming in from the wall. And all that solid line in that thing and all this started putting kinks in these things to make it all fit right, because there's just so many hard angles and everything, and nothing was lining up right. But I was making it work, and I was like, I'd rather have some kinks in it and at least get this done, because man, I was sweating, and look at the access to this thing. I mean, I have this much room to squeeze through here, and look how far back it is to there. I mean, I literally all the way into my shoulder, and I can barely touch it. So needless to say, my armpit's quite sore from having to lean on this for the last 2 days. Yeah, it's taken almost 2 days to do this, because I got it all, hooked up just fine, but tighten, drip, tighten, drip, slow down a little bit, tighten a little more. Oh, and I'm talking just, fighting that, starting to twist and bend everything, and then all of a sudden, pop. Ah, crap. So I got to take it apart, try another, one of these. I tried doubling them up. Tried a big one, the small one and a big one. Man, I went through almost $15 worth of, I should probably shut this fan off with it right there. Anyway, I went through $15 worth of these hose clamps so far, and you can see these are ones that have just popped and broke, and they just, and look, once they do pop, they don't even want to come back off. They just want to stick, and and just, they're all stripped out and busted. So what a frustration every time one of these things would pop, and they do it every time. So I got it working just enough to take a shower last night and get done, and put a pot down here and some rags, collect some water and everything. And what I did last night was I took that T out, and these two pieces right here, I actually figured out that they fit into one of these, what are these things here? I don't know, anyway, it fit into there. So I glued this in here last night, let it dry for an hour, and it was just a little doop, doop. So I was like, hey, that's enough to take a shower. I'll shut the pump off, take the pressure off it before I go to bed, and wrap a towel around it. And that worked. So I got showered, got up this morning, and or maybe last night, and I saw this piece of hose that I had left that come from the pump installation, and I said, hey, wait a minute. I don't know if it's too much for the city water pressure, but I know it's plenty good enough for the pump connection. That's flexible enough to go up in here without kinking and messing up. Plus, it'll fit on that brass fitting, because that's actually another big problem I had. Again, this thing, that brass fitting was identical to the T sticking out here, so it's got just a little tiny itty bitty gap I have to overcompensate for, and just pop, because you get it so close, but it's still drip, and it just, it's so frustrating, because you'd be so close, and you're just flexing everything at its limit, and you're so close, you're like, just a little bit more, and it'll stop dripping, and then just pop. there goes the damn clamp again. Another clamp. So anyway, that is actually a little bit tighter. That actually, you know, you had to work it on a little bit because it's designed for 3/8, and that's a 1/2 inch nipple. So sure enough, click, click, click with a good tight on the small one. It went up on here. And what I actually did to fix the T problem, because I mean, you know, $5 and you can't buy anything oversized. I fortunately saved all my old parts from the RV, and I had some T's. In fact, one of these is actually being reused in the kitchen when I did it last year. But anyway, yeah, so I had to take one of these, pop off a couple of these, and if you'll notice, and even though, and I'll still be honest, it is just, I mean, oops, it is just ever so slightly, yep, just enough to just ruin everything. So look at this, all this mess just to put that stupid little T in there, just because this RV plumbing, like, it's intentional. Like, they don't make anything that fits it and works with it intentionally to force you to have to, you know, replace it.
Enjoyed that video at least as much as I enjoy life to make it so far. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you care to. This video marks the end of this series and of older footage, as I've got a new camera and I'll be upping my productions to 60 frames per second for real, and maybe even play around with the slow-mo. See you guys next time.